Welcome to today's explainer. We're jumping right into a really incredible roadmap for building family wealth. I absolutely love this topic because today we are going to treat your family's financial planning exactly like building a sturdy, storm-proof house. We aren't looking for any of those flashy, get-rich-quick schemes, no way. We're laying down solid bricks of knowledge that will actually protect you and your loved ones for decades. So get comfortable and let's start building. Picture this. Your car breaks down tomorrow and needs a €500 repair. Do you have the cash ready to go, or would you be forced to pull out a credit card? If just thinking about that gave you a slight knot in your stomach, honestly, don't worry. You are absolutely not alone. Most families live with this constant, quiet anxiety of being just one unexpected bill away from a full-blown crisis. But today, we're going to replace that anxiety with the absolute peace of mind that comes from having a real, solid financial plan. Okay, here is our blueprint for today. 1. Clearing high-interest debt. 2. Building your financial shield. 3. Budgeting without arguments. 4. Investing for the future. And 5. Raising money-smart kids. Step 1. The groundwork. Clearing high-interest debt. You simply cannot build a secure financial future on the quicksand of consumer debt. Before we can even talk about investing or growing your wealth, we have to make sure your financial house isn't actively sinking. But let's clear up a massive misconception right now. Not all debt is evil. There's what we call good debt, like a carefully negotiated mortgage. It usually has way lower interest rates and actually helps you buy an asset that gains value over time. Then there's bad debt. This is the quicksand. We're talking credit cards, personal loans for a holiday, store financing, stuff that often carries crushing interest rates of 12 to 18%. Listen, you literally cannot outinvest a 15% interest rate. Getting rid of this bad debt, that gives you a guaranteed return on your money. So how do we actually get rid of it? There are two main strategies here. The avalanche method is for you if you're mathematically minded. You target the debt with the highest interest rate first, which effectively saves you the most money over time. But hey, if you need quick psychological wins to stay motivated, the snowball method is your best friend. You aggressively pay off the smallest balance first, getting that immediate satisfaction and building massive momentum to tackle the next one. The crucial takeaway here is that it doesn't really matter which one you choose. Just pick one, stick to it like glue, and pay the minimums on everything else until you're clear. Step 2. The foundation. Building your financial shield. This buffer is your emergency fund. Basically, it's a highly liquid, completely risk-free savings account that holds about 3 to 6 months worth of fixed family expenses. Now notice I emphasize the word fixed. We aren't talking about replacing your full salary here. We're just talking about what it costs to keep the lights on, keep a roof over your head, and keep food on the table. If you've got a super stable job, 3 months might be plenty. If you're a freelancer or if you have kids, aim for 6. Think of this as your safe for everyday shocks. It has to be instantly accessible and completely protected from any stock market risks. However, an emergency fund does have its limits. It acts like a financial airbag for those daily bumps, a broken boiler or a sudden trip to the dentist. But what about a devastating life shock? Something like a major illness, a severe disability, or even the premature loss of a parent. A €5,000 emergency fund is going to evaporate in a matter of months in that scenario. That's exactly where life and health insurance step in. They act as the ultimate umbrella, providing a massive payout for those rare catastrophic events, making absolutely sure your family can keep the house and maintain their standard of living no matter what curveballs life throws. Step 3. The framework. Budgeting without arguments. Look, to avoid micromanaging each other and having those stressful late-night arguments about money, you need a system. And the 50-30-20 rule is an absolutely incredible tool for couples. Here's how it works. 50% of your combined income goes to needs, housing, utilities, groceries. 30% goes to wants, dining out, hobbies, vacations. Yes, a whole 30%. Budgeting shouldn't feel like a prison. It should actually give you guilt-free permission to enjoy life. Finally, 20% is strictly reserved for your future. That means funding your emergency fund, investing for retirement, and building wealth. Now, how do you practically organize all this money as a couple? The source material highlights two main paths. The traditional joint account means every single cent goes into one big pot. That's great for transparency, but honestly, some couples end up feeling like they've lost their independence. The alternative is the hybrid model, and it's brilliant. You each keep your own individual accounts for personal autonomy, so you don't have to ask permission to buy a coffee or some new shoes, but you both contribute proportionally to a shared account that covers those 50% needs and 20% future buckets. It is a fantastic way to maintain unity as a couple while still respecting your personal freedom. Step 4. The growth. Investing for the future. If the word investing makes you want to run for the hills, let's demystify something called ETFs, or exchange-traded funds. I want you to think of an ETF simply as a shopping basket. Instead of trying to guess which single apple at the market is going to be the sweetest, which is like trying to pick one winning stock, you just buy a pre-filled basket that contains a tiny slice of hundreds or even thousands of the world's biggest companies all at once. Apple, Microsoft, Nestle, they're all in there. By buying just one ETF, you instantly own a slice of the entire global economy. To really get this, we need to understand what's actually inside these investments. Your basket can hold stocks, which are actual slices of ownership in a business. They offer high growth, but they bounce around a lot in the short term. It can also hold bonds, which are essentially loans you make to a government or a company in exchange for regular interest payments. Bonds offer lower growth, but way more stability. And here's the kicker. Unlike traditional funds, where a highly paid guy in a suit actively tries to pick winners and charges you massive fees for it, an ETF just automatically tracks the market. That keeps your fees incredibly low. This broad diversification is exactly how you protect your family's money while still letting it grow. When we talk about investing for retirement, especially looking at our source material from Portugal, you'll often hear a big debate: PPRs versus ETFs. A PPR, a retirement savings plan, gives you fantastic immediate tax benefits on your yearly tax return, but your money is pretty locked up with strict withdrawal rules. A global ETF, on the other hand, gives you total freedom and liquidity with potentially higher long-term growth, but you don't get those immediate tax breaks. The reality? They aren't enemies at all. In fact, they brilliantly complement each other. A lot of savvy families use a PPR to max out their tax benefits for the year and then pour the rest of their retirement savings into a global ETF for that sweet, liquid growth. But here is the major catch with investing. Your own brain is going to try to self-sabotage you. Imagine it's year one and the market drops. Your portfolio is in the red. Panic sets in. It's human biology. We hate losing money way more than we enjoy making it. But if you sell in a panic, you've just turned a temporary dip into a permanent, actual loss. The real secret here is emotional discipline. If you set up an automatic monthly transfer, a strategy called dollar cost averaging, you actually end up buying more shares when the market is down in year 3 because they're on sale. By year 10, when the market inevitably recovers and grows like it historically always has, your consistency is rewarded with massive compound growth. The trick? Don't check your balance every day. Just stick to the plan. Step 5. The legacy. Raising money-smart kids. We have to forget the old, opaque, ceramic piggy bank where money just disappears into a dark little hole. For kids, money needs to be totally visual. Let me introduce you to the 3 jars method. You just grab 3 transparent glass jars. When your child gets an allowance, let's say it's €3, they split it up. €1 goes into the spend jar for an immediate treat, giving them autonomy. €1 goes into the save jar for a bigger toy later on, which teaches them patience. And the last euro goes into the donate jar for an animal shelter or charity, building deep empathy. Because the jars are clear glass, they can actually watch their patience physically piling up. But hey, even with the best methods, we as parents can definitely trip up. First rule, never say, "We have no money." It creates this underlying mindset of scarcity and fear. Instead, try saying, "It's not a priority for our family right now." That teaches them that money is really about making choices. Second, never give in to those epic supermarket tantrums. Buying a toy just to stop the crying only teaches them that throwing a fit is a perfectly valid currency. And finally, remember that kids absorb what you do, not what you say. If you are constantly, impulsively swiping your credit card every weekend, there isn't a glass jar in the world that will fix the contradictory example you're setting. Now, if you want to give your kids the ultimate head start, €21,000 is your magic number. If you invest just €50 a month into a global ETF from the day your child is born, assuming an average historical return of about 7%, it can grow to over €21,000 by the time they turn 18. That is the unbelievable magic of compound interest. In fact, our source material highlights the Oliveira family, who used a strategy called the income lever. They identified a skill to generate an extra €150 a month in side income without sacrificing family time. Instead of letting that money vanish into lifestyle inflation, they invested it directly. That income lever is one of the absolute fastest ways to accelerate your family's journey to financial independence. As we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with this core philosophy. Investing is not a shortcut to get rich quickly. It is simply about creating good, reliable habits for a secure family future. You don't need to be some Wall Street genius. It's just about paying off that bad debt, building your emergency fund, getting on the same page as your partner, pulling that income lever when you can, and consistently investing small amounts over a long period of time. So, I'll leave you with this question to really chew on. What is the very first step your family will take today to start building your financial home? Seriously, are you going to sit down tonight and list out your debts? Are you going to sketch out your 50-30-20 budget? Or maybe you're going to grab 3 glass jars for the kids. Whatever it is, pick just one thing and take action today. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Here's to building a prosperous, storm-proof future for you and your family.